Good afternoon, welcome back. This is Saima. If you haven't met me before, I'm a nurse from Southeast England and I provide information about UK nursing, a process of becoming a nurse here in the UK, immigration updates, new jobs in the UK for nurses, for healthcare support workers, anything you can think of, anything around me, I discuss on this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so you don't miss any of my upcoming video. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate. In today's video, I'm going to answer one of the question from Sumera Nazir and a lot of other people. They asked the same question. Their question was about the work experience and a gap between the work experience. So if you have a gap in between the work experience in your previous work experience, should you apply for the NHS? Should you apply for the UK? Can you work in the UK if you have a gap in your experience? Is it worth moving? Is it will you be accepted here in the UK, and will there be any problem? So this is all we are going to discuss in this channel. If this topic interests you, please watch the video till the end. So let's dive into the video without any further delay. So this question is very common, very obvious. Like when we are back home in our country, we always think about like very small problems, very minor questions. But to be honest, I was in the same stage. I remember when I was about to come here in the UK, and the leaflet I got from the hospital, they were saying like you need to get the shoes which are without laces and water resistant. So I was looking for the shoes everywhere and without laces, but when I came here, everybody was wearing the shoes with the laces. But it's the hospital policy, you should not have the laces on your shoes, and they should be black in color, water resistant. But I was so worried about that. I was checking in all the shops, asking specifically, are they waterproof? And when we look for something, most of the times we can't find it. So when I came here, I looked at the paper shoes, and I was like, everybody is wearing shoes with the laces. So okay, no problem. So yes, when we are back home and we want to move to a different country, we think about small points. We think about if we have any query, if we have any doubt, we want to make sure that we are going in the right direction and we are following the right direction. Yes. And also I was asking my agency a lot of the times, do my dependent needs IELTS or OET? I was messaging them about too many things. I was messaging them also about the accommodation or housing, how much is it going to cost me. So if you are going through an agent, you can ask them anything. But if you are going to do it by yourself, obviously you can message me in the comments, or you can ask your fellow colleagues or someone who is here in the UK. All right, so if we talk about work experience, having a work experience is very good. If you don't have, it's fine. Freshers can also apply here in the UK or in the nursing home or care homes. But nursing home, care homes, they usually require 6 months experience. But in the NHS, sometimes they hire fresher as well. Okay, if we talk about gap in your work experience, so there is nothing to worry about. Okay, if you have a gap in your work experience, is totally fine. What you need to do is, in your CV, you need to make sure that you mention each and everything clearly. Write it down. You have the work experience. And what is your gap years. All right, when NHS or any other organization conduct your interview, you can tell them that I have gap experience. And if they ask you about the gap, why do you have that gap in your experience, then you need to explain it to them properly. Even in your CV, you can mention that I have gap in my work experience and the reason of it. Okay, sometimes with the ladies, if they get pregnant, or if they have a baby, or when they deliver, it's obvious that they may need to take time off from work, right? So you can just mention it to them. You can write it in your CV. Upon interview, you can tell them in detail also. Most of the times, agencies, when they ask you about the work experience, you need to tell them truthfully also about your gap. all right. But there is nothing to worry if you have a gap in your work experience. You are still eligible for UK jobs. You can still apply for job, you can get the job, you can come here in the UK, you can work here in the UK as a nurse or healthcare support worker. So there is this gap is not stopping you to come over. All right, don't worry about the gap. It's totally fine. Yes, it's totally fine, Sumera. You can still get a job here in the UK. You can apply for UK job. Make sure you mention it in your CV. Upon interview, you can tell the NHS organization also that you have a gap experience, you have a gap in your experience. And also you can mention, if you're coming through the agency, you can tell them as well that you have some gap and what is the reason. Obviously, also in covid time, a lot of people, they were just reluctant to go to work, and most of the time, most of them, they would rather stay home than going to work in covid wards. Yes, so it's obvious, it's possible, it is possible that you can have you may have a gap in your experience. But be truthful, be honest, tell them the truth, write that in your CV, it will be fine. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, any queries, please mention them, put them in the comment section. I'll be answering them very happily. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.